Hello friends, welcome to week 2 of my Elegant Stylist review. If you follow me here on this channel, you know this is a little bit of a different situation, so thank you for bearing with me with that. If this is your first video of mine that you're seeing, you may not know that I went through the Secrets of Elite Women program from Anna Bay, and now I am on week 2 of the Elegant Stylist review. If you want to see the first week, I would highly encourage that. I'll have it linked right here for you because this is a program that builds off of the previous week. This week is going to be all about price and strategy. Because the thing is, we often make mistakes when it comes to pricing and evaluating the quality of an item, and therefore that should be dictating the price of the item. And what I'm learning is that once we get the right thought process going on these garments, it allows us to resolve any wardrobe styling issues. Now, Anna, one of the things I love with her programs is that she always infuses a psychology component to what she's teaching. And the biggest thing that I'm learning is that if you can understand the human behavior behind something and the psychology behind something, you'll be able to safeguard or put those blocks in that will stop you from making an emotionally led choice. So with her programs, it's not just about the styling, it's also about the human behavior component of that. So you can essentially hack yourself. So be it that we are emotional creatures, we often make purchases based off our emotions. And the problem with this is that these emotions can often allow us to throw all strategy out the window. And therefore, people often end up overspending in some groups of people or underspending in other groups of people. Now, in this particular week of the course, Anna goes through some of the mistakes that each particular group can find themselves making. And therefore, Anna gives us the different perspectives that each of these groups can have that will allow us to see the bigger picture and in turn get more value for our money when shopping. Have you ever heard of cost per wear? I feel like many people have. And therefore, Anna's twist on the cost per wear strategy, I was already familiar with it, and so it was very easy for me to just adapt my methodology to where and what she is trying to teach. Obviously, it's not something I've fully put into practice as of yet, but it does seem to make sense. Now, cost per wear is the price of a garment divided by how many times you wear it. And the methodology with that is the more you wear an item, it's going to bring down the cost per wear. So people often measure this as the goal, and they're wanting to have this cost per wear as low as possible because essentially you're looking to get your money's worth out of an item. Now, this isn't what Anna is looking for you to achieve with her methodology. From here, Anna takes us on a journey of how we can evaluate a garment's value in a few different ways. Some of these ways are like the purpose of the garment, the return on investment with the garment, and how this garment is going to serve you. Is it going to fit your lifestyle? Is it for an event? Is it just a occasion wear piece? And ultimately how this item will make you feel. Now from there, depending on your own personal taste, you are then going to start looking at the quality of this garment and then refining your purchase process down from there. But equally, I would say one of my favorite parts of this week's lesson is looking at the sustainability aspect of these garments. If this is your first video of mine that you're clicking on, you may not know I've worked as an influencer in the fashion and beauty industry for the last 5 years. And one of the things I was really feeling convicted by was the amount of items that I'm pushing to my audience, and it just wasn't sitting well with me from a sustainability factor. And so I love that Anna touched on this in this section of the course because truly we can't want to level up our life in every aspect and not look at the earth and how these things are contributing to the circumstances that we find ourselves in on a global scale. But in turn, bringing this back to the fashion and the styling aspect of things, this means that we're going to be looking at these areas and we might be compromising in some areas and not so much in others, depending on the garment. This might be a compromise in quality or a compromise in sustainability, etc. From here, Anna takes us down a whole process that allows us to evaluate and calculate a garment's value. And the way that Anna breaks this down is very practical, and I think many of you will get value from this. However, I will say if you have taken this course or you're thinking about taking this course and you already have a little bit of fashion sense and you're not really struggling in the budget aspect of your wardrobe, then I do think that you will find this week's lesson a little bit elementary. Now, as we move on this week's lesson, we've learned about the price per wear and we understand that longevity needs to be a huge factor to this conversation. Anna then moves on to list the mistakes that we should be looking out for. Okay, some of these mistakes might look a little bit like this. Have you ever bought an item and then when you bought that item, the maintenance of this item was way more energy than it was worth, or you ended up having to invest so much more into this item, which then put the cost of this item up? Perhaps it's tailoring, perhaps it needs to be taken to the dry cleaner, etc. These are all things that we need to take into consideration when making purchases for our wardrobe. Again, I feel like some of these things that are being pointed out are a little bit elementary, or perhaps maybe not elementary, but I think if you're at a phase of your level up journey where you're already implementing some of these things, you will end up learning these things just by going through the motions and the experience of implementing these things. I think you would end up making some of these mistakes if you were implementing them, and you would then learn to not make that a mistake again. Now, I think where this course can save you money is that if you're at the beginning of your level up journey, or perhaps I should rephrase that, I think where this particular lesson, this week's lesson, could save you some money, especially if you are at the beginning of your level up journey, is that if you invested in this course, you won't make the mistakes of, or you hopefully shouldn't make the mistakes of buying items that maybe have a higher maintenance price tag added to them, and then that will save you money. However, if you've invested the money in this course, you've invested the money, and then, you know, that will save you making some mistakes, but you also are starting at a deficit because you invested the money in the course. Does that make sense? But if you take this scenario where you didn't invest the money and you learned through trial and error, or you take this option and you invested and you don't make as many trial and errors, I think where you can end up giving yourself a better experience is you won't have to spend as much time making the trials and the errors if you just invested with the course right away. Whereas I've been on my level up journey for almost 2 years now. I've learned some of these things through trial and error that perhaps if this was an option for me at the beginning, I could have saved myself so much more time. You cannot get time back, but you can go make more money. That's my philosophy on it. Now, I know this video is already getting a little bit long, and if you made it to the end of it, maybe just let me know in the comment section, because I can see where a lot of you click off the video. And when I post videos about Anna's program, many of you are new and you're not subscribed to me. So if I get enough comments from you, I will make a part 2 to this, because I have quite a bit of notes that I wanted to touch on. But the sun is starting to go down. So let me know if you made it to the end of this video. If you did, I will create a part 2 of week 2 of this lesson. If not, I will be recording my week 3 review in about 2 days' time. So you will have that. If you're wanting to see the discussion of what was in the workbook of this week's lesson, I do post that over on my Patreon. That will be linked in the description box for you. I would love if you came there and joined me. If not, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've considered subscribing if you are someone new and you've made it to the end. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.